Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Peculiar Stars Lifestyle Network. I remain your host, Emmanuel, and today I want to talk about something that I think is really important: acknowledging your weaknesses and working on them. Before I go on, I want you to share with us what are some common weaknesses that you think people usually struggle with. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Now, we all have weaknesses, right? It's just part of being human. Maybe you struggle with procrastination, always postponing important tasks until the last minute, or perhaps you have trouble speaking up in public. Maybe you are feeling too shy to share your ideas, or you are feeling intimidated to share your ideas in public. Or maybe you find it hard to manage your time effectively and you are constantly feeling like you are falling behind. These are all very common weaknesses that a lot of people deal with. You see, the thing is, a lot of us have a tendency to kind of sweep our weaknesses under the carpet. We don't like to admit that we are not perfect. So we just try to ignore them and hope they will go away. But you see, the truth is, that's not really the best approach. Or what do you think? See, the way I see it is, acknowledging our weaknesses is the first step to actually working on them and getting better. If we can't even admit that we have a problem, how are we supposed to do anything about it? It's kind of, like a doctor trying to treat a patient who refuses to tell them what's wrong. So you have got to start by identifying the issues before you can even begin to address it. So now, let's look at some of the benefits of acknowledging your weaknesses. Well, for one thing, it can help you become more self-aware. When you are honest with yourself about the areas where you need to improve, you see, it can give you a clearer picture of who you are and where you need to focus your energy. It can also make you more resilient. When you know your weaknesses, you can develop strategies to manage them or work around them. Maybe you realize that you struggle with procrastination, so you start setting smaller, more manageable deadlines for yourself. You see, instead of trying to work on the bulk of tasks like a machine, and you won't be able to do anything at all at the long run, you can start to spread those tasks so that you'll be able to do what you're supposed to do and move on. Or maybe you know that public speaking makes you really anxious, so you work on practicing your presentation skills and visualizing yourself succeeding. And let's not forget, it can also help you build stronger relationships with the people around you. I mean, think about it. If you are always trying to project this image of perfection, it can be really hard for others to connect with you on a genuine level. But if you are upfront about your weaknesses, it can actually make you more approachable and relatable. People are more likely to trust and respect someone who is willing to be vulnerable and honest about their struggles. But at the same time, you see, most times people like and admire you until you tell them your problems. So be discerning. Your weaknesses or your challenges should only be known by those who have got your back and can't see you finish. So I'm not saying start telling everybody your weaknesses. Work on them and only share with people that can help you. So let us know your thoughts in the comments. What are some common weaknesses that you think people usually struggle with, as I asked earlier? You see, as I mentioned, things like procrastination, public speaking, and time management. You see, all these are all pretty common weaknesses that people experience, but there are so many others too. Things like being too critical of yourself, having a hard time saying no, or even just feeling like you are not good enough. You see, some people might have a hard time admitting when they have made a mistake, or they might have a tendency to get defensive when they receive feedback. Some other people might struggle with emotional regulation when they find it very difficult to manage their anger or anxiety in stressful situations. And it's not just about the big obvious weaknesses. Sometimes it's the little thing that can really catch us by surprise. Maybe you have a hard time remembering names. There are some people, no matter how many times you tell them your name, the next time they see you, they are still going to ask. They will not remember. Or you have a habit of interrupting people when they are talking. See, these might seem like small issues, but they can definitely add up and impact our relationships and our productivity. Also, I want you to kindly share with us in the comments below, what are some of the weaknesses that you have had to struggle with yourself? We'd love to hear your stories and your perspectives on this. Maybe you find it easy to acknowledge your weaknesses, or it's something you struggle with. What strategies have you used to work on the areas where you need to improve? Let us know in the comments. For example, maybe you have found that setting specific, measurable goals has helped you overcome a weakness, or perhaps you have discovered that practicing mindfulness or meditation has made it easier for you to manage your emotions. Or maybe in your own case, you have found that simply talking to a trusted friend or mentor has given you the support and the accountability you need to work on your weaknesses. Whatever your experiences has been, I really want to hear about it, and I know others do too. Because the truth is, we are all in this together, and the more we can learn from each other, success and challenges, the better we can all become. So let us know what you think. We are really curious to hear your thoughts on this. Also, managing money is something a lot of people have problem with. It's easy to just ignore your finances and not deal with them, especially when things are challenging. But avoiding those problems usually doesn't work out well in the long run. So it's better to be proactive and manage your money very well, even when it's hard. You see, not being financially responsible can really hold you back in life. Things like overspending, not saving for emergencies, or not understanding basic money concepts can cause a lot of stress and problem. I've seen people who are constantly worried about how they are going to pay their bills, or others who rack up debts because they can't resist spending. It's not that they are necessarily bad with money, they just never learned the skills to manage their finances well. And it's not just about the money itself. The way we handle our finances can affect our mental health and relationships too. You see, money issues are common reason for fights and even breakups between couples. So, what can we do about it? I think the first step is to take an honest look at our spending and saving habits. Where is your money going? Are we making smart choices, or are there areas where we could be more careful? And then once we figure out this, we can start developing better money habits. That could mean creating a detailed budget, automatically saving money. There are different applications now that can help you save and lock your money, and some even offer to give you interest. You see, you can also learn about investing or find ways to boost your income. The key is to be proactive and not let our money weaknesses just keep getting worse. Getting your finances in order isn't just about the numbers, it's about taking control of your life and your future. What do you all think? Have any of you struggled with money management before? What strategies have you used to overcome that? We are really curious to hear your thoughts on this in the comments. I've also seen a lot of people struggle with decision making. They have a hard time knowing what the right choice is, or they are just indecisive and cannot commit to anything. That can really hold you back in life as well. And then there is the whole issue of alcohol addiction. A lot of people turn to drinking as a way to cope, but it ends up causing even more problems. Health issues, relationship troubles, financial troubles, you name it. It's a vicious circle that's really tough to break. And when it comes to relationship, especially with women, some people just seems to have a hard time. You see, the key with all of these weaknesses is to be honest with yourself. Identify where you are struggling and then take proactive steps to address it. I know it's not easy, but making that effort to improve can pay off big time in the long run. What are your thoughts on these other common areas of weakness? Have you dealt with any of them before yourself? We are really curious to hear your perspectives in the comments below. And that's all on today's episode. Thank you for joining us. Don't forget to identify areas for growth, then take steps to improve. It's not easy, but the benefits are worth it. Reflect on your strengths and weaknesses and share your thoughts. Like our video, share with your friends, and subscribe to our channel. Thank you so much once again for listening, and stay tuned for more episodes.